Hello guys, welcome to the Teen Heart to Heart platform. And today my name is Naliaka for those who are new here. Today I'm privileged to have a pastor about why do I matter? Supporting people, why do I matter? And but see, before you introduce yourself, I was listening to this song by Ezekiel Walker. It goes like this, if I could just sing for 2 minutes. It says, I need you. I don't know if you know it. You need me.
Yeah.
We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. For me, I think that song touched me differently
All right.
in terms of asking myself. Sometimes we tend to behave like we're islands. Means by them is I don't need people. You tend sometimes to behave in that manner like you don't need people. But that song made me think: why do people matter? Why did God not put us everyone in their own island if people did not matter? Because sometimes we treat people like they don't matter.
Yeah.
Why do people matter? Why do you think people matter? Even during this period of coronavirus, the slogan is wash your hands, wear a mask, stay 1 meter apart because of this virus. Because the people within you that matter, and you don't want them to get the virus or something of that sort. So why do people matter?
All right.
Yes.
Let me begin by
Introducing
introducing
yourself.
myself.
Yes.
Richard Lipesa, pastor with Christ is the Answer Ministry, and we have served with Naliaka some great while,
Yeah.
and we have really traveled this nation together with her, just ministering to people. And I'm married and blessed with two young ladies, Daniela and Kyla, and I send greetings to them as well as their mom, and may the Lord bless you.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Naliaka, that you have asked. Why do people matter?
Yes.
Why do people matter? I think that's a question that every individual should be able to answer at whichever level of life you are in. And why didn't God create us as islands?
Yeah.
Just be by ourselves.
Exactly.
The way the current pandemic is taking us.
Yes.
All families by themselves and all individuals
By themselves.
by themselves,
Clowns
and
in
God
a
and God for us.
Actually, that is what people say.
Yeah.
Everyone for themselves and God for us.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
that's
what
where the
people
world,
say.
that's where this pandemic has taken us.
Yeah, true.
The last time I greeted my neighbor by hand is a long,
2019.
it's a long while.
2019.
It's a long while, and that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, whom we are cordial about. We still talk, we still visit each other, but the social distance has still been maintained,
Yeah, true.
and all that. It's something we are getting used to as Africans.
Yeah, true.
It's quite new, but we are beginning to adapt it as Africans. I think other cultures had adopted it quite earlier.
Yeah.
I think they had seen stuff way before. For us Africans, we had never probably
Yeah, true.
we had never experienced such a pandemic,
Yeah,
or maybe we had gotten used to it. But why do people matter? Why has God created us not as islands, but like a network
Yeah.
of people throughout the whole world?
Yeah, true.
This is because when you look at Genesis, um, people matter to God. And of all creation, it is humanity that has been given the highest priority in terms of love, dominion, authority,
Yeah, true.
and all else.
Yeah,
And
true.
furthermore, we have been made after the image of God. And the image of God is a trinity of God the Father, God the Son,
and God the Holy
God
Spirit.
the Holy Spirit, who are interconnected.
Yeah, true.
All right? Who are one, yet three, yet still one. And it's usually a tricky kind of trying to explain the Trinity as it is, but God Himself being a Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit operating as one, and we having been made after His own image, it's only expected of us also not to be islands, not to operate as silos, as one of my mentor usually likes to say. And there is more power also in interconnectivity. In the field of care, I've discovered that burdens are easier carried together than if you left it to one person to do it by themselves.
Even I think the Bible says two are better than one.
Yes.
So two is always better than one. But at times,
Yeah.
I think we tend to, I think we tend not to. At times we tend not to agree with that because maybe you've gone through a lot of betrayal, a lot of things that maybe the people that you thought would support you, they did not support you, and then at times we tend to like shake people off to the point that you just want to be an individual. Is that a good thing? And how do you get yourself out of that spot of you just wanting to be an individual by yourself? Because you are afraid that allowing someone into your life again will just cause another series of betrayal or another series of hurt. So you just tend to like, kind of initiative.
Versus a reward of this particular relationship. The cost of that betrayal versus the rewards of maintaining this relationship. Yes. So if the cost outweigh the rewards, I think also you can come to the point where you can say, hey, for this relationship, I think it's better. It's better we separate. Yeah, I don't know if you're getting it, but as much as possible, we should be trying on our part to maintain every relationship that the Lord
has brought to us.
Has brought our.
My slogan has always been extend grace.
Extend grace.
Yeah, extend grace. The same grace that God has extended in you. Because imagine, come up, we only say, imagine if you were living like Akina Joseph, the people in the Old Testament. When you do a mistake like this, you're cut off.
Yes.
When you do a mistake like this, one day you're being stoned and stuff like that.
That is the law.
The law. Yeah. So because God, when Jesus came and died for us, he actually he extended grace.
Yes.
That's why he says forgive 70 times 70 times 77 times. I don't know what it's forget. So for me, my slogan has always been sometimes see beyond the mistake.
Okay.
Sometimes people do mistake, not necessarily because they want to do mistake, but it just maybe just happened. They're not mischievous, it just happened. So always tend to extend grace to people. And then another thing is sometimes we tend to we tend to materialize our friendship. We tend to make people matter because of the materialistic help or materialistic how do I put it, materialistic environment we are in. Like if you can give me 1,000 bob when I need it, then with that one I will consider you like you matter. When you're having trouble, then I will consider you like you matter. If you're able to maybe give me A, B, and C when I'm in need, then I'll consider you as someone who matter. Even when you have a problem, you will matter. But how do you extend the thought of being materialistic to the point of even if you don't give me money, even if you don't give me what I need, by the virtue of you just being there, you still matter to me. How do you not materialize things?
All right. One of my mentors actually said that the best kind of giving is giving to someone who has no power to pay back. The best kind of giving is giving to someone who has no power.
To give it. But you know that applies to, let me tell you something, Pasik.
Yes.
That applies to when people are helping out the street children out there, the orphans. Then you'll tend to think that way, like, okay, I'm giving them because they can't give it back. But when it comes to one-on-one relationship, like me and a friend of mine, sometimes you can find your friend will only maybe value you at the point of where you can be able to help them. Yes. So how do you delete that materialistic?
People are such kind of people. who give without expecting
Anything
anything
in
back.
return.
Yeah. Whether you're materialistic, whether you are in real need, but as much as you're a giver, also you must have that balance of differentiating between a real need and a materialistic need, and minister to the real need, to the most urgent needs. And materialistic needs can wait, or you can give as you will, just for pleasure, just because the Lord commands us to be givers.
Yeah, exactly. To be givers and not receivers.
Yeah.
And in the manner of giving, sometimes I feel like someone might give, you may be tempted to give beyond your will. You, how do you help people without going overboard of you losing yourself?
Okay.
Okay. Incurring debts because of people, doing things because you just want to fit in.
Okay.
Get to the extent sometimes you may even find, if you're a family person like you, you go to the extent of maybe denying your family some things because you want to provide to this other person. Okay. So how do you?
That one I'll share it from Matthew chapter 22, verse 35 to 40, but we won't read it. We won't read it now, but we'll just take one verse which says, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself."
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Your neighbor as you love yourself.
Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So there's no way. It's a bit difficult to love your neighbor more than you love yourself.
I see sometimes it goes to the extent. Because I have done that.
Now that becomes self-harm. First, learn how to love yourself. Because when you're going to the extent of borrowing a loan so that you can please your neighbor regarding their need, I believe now that becomes self-harming. Because you'll be left with a loan here, trying to pay so that somebody can sort out their business. That one I consider self-harm. The first thing about care is first to learn how to love yourself. And the word of the Lord also says in another text, if you call yourself a child of God and do not take care of your own family, you are worse than an infidel. And so that I've used that as a principle, especially for care. If it's not bereavement, let's say it's a wedding, and I want to give a gift, or I want to take a friend out for chips and chicken. Let's use that. I want to take a friend out for chips and chicken. I can't do that. Before I do that, or if I do that, I have to buy my family chips and chicken. It should be something that I can afford. And then there's also the place where you can actually say no. And it's still okay. And you have not sinned, and you are still in the will of God. If it is not within your power. Because, we as humans operate under a lot of limitations. A limited salary, limited income, business can only do so far. Otherwise, if we are limited as God, we would be able to solve every problem in the world. We would like to be at that place. But God has limited us. So with such limitations, we also have to be wise in the way we operate. And so, for example, we as ministers, we get invited to every birthday party, every wedding,
every
for the good, and you have to carry a gift sometimes, and okay, it's expected you show up with a gift, all right? And so what I have wisely done is I have a budget for that. When that budget is gone, it's no longer
and to that person who's next. And to that person who is next.
Because there's only so much I can do as a human being. Or else I may have to go into a bank loan and leave me in trouble, paying a loan, trying to sort somebody else. But one of the greatest things as a pastor and a believer, I believe God is able to come through for an individual when I pray for them. The most important, first pray and then try to show the care.
Within your means, do not go out of your box.
Within your means. If you are able, please do. And I try as much as possible to reach out, not only in care, to reach out not only to my family members, but also friends neighbors, and whoever is within my circle of influence.
Or you talked about self-harm, and I really want to know more about self-harm.
Yes.
How do you self-harm yourself when it comes when in a situation of support, in a situation of just allowing people in your life? How do people bring themselves to that place of self-harm?
When now people start taking advantage of you just because they know they can. Like, for example, they know you're a giver, you have the grace of giving. And sometimes I'm very careful. I've met such kinds of people who, as soon as you interact with them, they look for something to give. I try to control myself as much as possible to not take advantage of that particular grace of giving. But there are people who won't care. They'll take as much as possible, even leave you with nothing.
Sure, exactly.
But God is faithful. On the other hand, God is faithful. You can never outgive God. That's what I've seen. The more these people give, the more they get blessed. Yeah. So there's no time they'll say, I have nothing to give.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and giving is a hard discipline. It's a discipline. Something actually we Christians need to learn just to give. Of course, there's the other side. I've seen also some people with uh, more grace to give actually gain that particular thing corruptly or in evil ways. So it's a cover-up or a sanitization process when they give. That's not what we are talking about. That's not what these people will never. Their pockets are too deep to run out of giving, because also their means of getting that particular thing is illegal or not in the right way. So it's either sanitization process when they give, or kind of I don't know how we can say it, but there is such a huge supply, you can never outgive them, or they get it back the other way. That's also the wrong kind of giving. That's not what we're talking about. But this kind of giving where the Lord allows us within our means, we are limited and we can only do so much. So we should be wise about it. Show the care that we can show. Sometimes giving doesn't have to be material also. You just being there, trying to look out for a problem that you can maybe just step in and cover for this particular person is also kind of giving.
But do you think, in terms of now that point you said,
Yes.
you also being there, not giving out materialistic,
Yes.
but do you also think that you can also cause self-harm to yourself by the fact of you just being there for people all the time? Because imagine even your brain is just limited to a certain level of issues.
Yes.
You always being present to other people's issues, then like, especially for you pastors. Then who ministers to you? Because one phone call you get, someone has died or someone has been bereaved. Another phone call you get, someone's has they're going through divorce and stuff like that. Another phone call you get, someone's has done this. As in, don't you think always being there for people also can bring some sort of self onto yourself?
Yes, if you over exert yourself.
And how do you get to know that? Hey, by the way, I'm I've overused.
Overexerted myself. It's a very thin line, so that there's no point where you can say this is the borderline.
Yes, it's not like money. You know, for money is there, you can see it. But this one is emotional,
So it's a very thin line, but you need to self-evaluate yourself every day. Yes.
How do you do that for you?
Okay, number one, you need to find the things that you love doing. You have to spend time with the things that you love doing. But the most important is spending time with God. Because God is the one who fills us with the grace. So you discover that the more time you spend with God, the more grace He is able to release to you to be able to carry, to carry more, actually more than you can be able to carry, beyond what you are actually limited to carry. So spending time with God is very important. Number two, spending time doing the things you love. And if you are a Christian, you love the things of God. So if it's listening to music,
even other recreation like I know you play basketball.
Yeah, playing basketball,
Yeah.
just doing fun stuff, playing the guitar, playing the keyboard. What else? Dance. What else? Swimming.
Yeah, swimming.
Yeah, just being a normal human.
Yeah, being a
Yeah,
normal
not all
human.
the time you are in the battlefield. By the way, this field of care is like a battlefield. You're just dealing
Yeah.
with people's emotions and sorting them out, and you can actually overexert yourself. I can give you one example. A counseling that was very intensive. That took on one weekend it took about 6 hours, and someone else needed counseling immediately after that. And this one for 6 hours, we didn't sort the issues that were involved. It took us 6 hours, and the issue was not resolved. And somebody else needs you after that. I had to call it off and give me a break for 1 week. Then we can see how we can be able to do this after that. So that during this 1 week, I can first debrief from this particular counseling that I did, reevaluate myself. Am I ready for another for another intensive session? Yeah. Am I ready to take another 6 hours sitting down listening to somebody else? Story, yeah. So how much time do you need to recover from such an episode before you can be able to take in some more? During this time, you are in the prayer mode, also asking God for grace to fill you once more, to renew you, so that when you arrive at the next session, it doesn't become a baggage also, because you might end up reacting because of the previous counseling you had, so it doesn't also become a baggage, and also to free your mind. But then a point of re-evaluating yourself, I think it's a key thing that every human being should try and do once in a while. I think I'm learning there. Re-evaluate yourself every single time, or every single day. So what's your parting shot? 12, is it verse 15, says, rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep. I think that's a good parting shot. Because sometimes we think about care, addressing distress all the time. It's not just about addressing distress. Yeah. Care sometimes is being with you during happy times. Okay? When the Lord has blessed you with a fiancé being with you. Blessed you with a husband just being with you. With a baby being with you in the happy times. You are opening your house being with you. Rejoicing with those who rejoicing. With those who rejoice. Every milestone in your life, just being there for the people who matter in your life. Because as you say in the beginning, we are not an island. But the people who need care most, again, are those who are going through difficult times. So we give them priority. Those ones are first in priority. They come second in that particular verse, but those are usually first in priority. They're the ones who need the care most. They're the ones who need company. They're the ones who need counseling. So let's do what the Word of God has said. Rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep, and the Lord shall surely bless you. Oh, that's a nice one. For me, it's just always what I normally like preaching is extend grace. Always extend grace. To the askari out there, extend grace. Because you'll never know. Even just a smile to someone, kwa matatu, you have no idea maybe what they've gone through, and you just smiling at them, maybe you've uplifted their spirit in one way or another. Maybe someone was even going to self-harm themselves. But the fact that you just became nice to them, you've just maybe uplifted someone or conquered a battle they were struggling with. So always extend grace. It has been Tin Heart to Heart. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share, and yeah.